What's happening? Man, we got some content today. Please believe it. Get my shit in order, man. Get my shit in order. What's happening, Enzo? Man, what it is, what it do. Ivan the Great, Ken Larson. Ain't nothing like getting no rest when you been going hard graveyard. Man, we got some shit in the news that we need to talk about. And Ivan, I'm glad you here. I need you to pull up a computer to make sure all the information that I'm about to put out there is on point. Is on point. First off, it's a sad day. It's a sad day. Man, they taking ancient mama. They taking ancient mama off the racks. It's like right now they attacking everything from the past that represent oppression. Everything from the past, because that shit is not that long ago. If you really think about it, like people got, it's still people 100 years old living. So if you was living, if you got people living from them days, then that shit ain't that old. That shit ain't that old. So they getting rid of ancient mama. She represent slavery time, and it's true. So here's the one, man. Hold on, man. Let me see if I can pull this shit up. I got to pull this shit up. Hold on, man. Hold on. Who know about the Emancipation Memorial? The Emancipation Memorial. Ivan the Great, Emancipation Memorial. So what it is, it's a statue that got Lincoln standing up, and they got a slave up under him on their knees with broken chains. Lincoln standing over a slave, and this is in Boston. This is in Boston, and it stood for over 100 years. In what's the name of the motherfucking thing? I don't know what the hell the name. Oh, I don't know what the name of that park is, but it's in Park Square in Boston. So I don't know what them slaves was thinking back then, but slaves is the ones that paid for this statue. They paid for it, so I can kind of be like, man, they was so happy that they was free, and that statue represented freedom. They freedom as I think it represented freedom as they knew it. Freedom as they knew it. Because ain't no way in hell I'm gonna pay for a statue with a white man standing over me and me on my knees breaking chains. But I still understand they was just so happy that they was free. But by no means should that statue have stood for over 100 years. Because to me, it represents oppression. It represents we still beneath y'all. That's what it represents. Y'all meaning the oppressors, not y'all meaning like my white brothers and all that. I mean the oppressors or the powers that be that's still in play today. So let me get this picture of this statue. Hold on one second. This phone ain't been on in so long that this motherfucker got hella messages coming through. You won't even function. Bam. Let's see. Bam. Bam. This statue gonna fuck y'all up. Let's see. Lincoln Memorial. Lincoln statue. Damn. In Boston. Watch this shit. This shit gonna fuck y'all up. Damn. Uh, Check this out. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? So what do y'all think about that? That statue is still standing to this day. Faith and Hope. What's that, man? Jace 1973. What up, boy? Jeremy Green. Big Bad. I see you. GD. GD ready to lead the South. I feel you. One thing about when you hit the South, you can't help but feel like, especially being from California, you can't help but feel the history around you. like, like when I used to be taking like back roads from like through Tennessee, like Nashville, Tennessee, all them little back streets, you see all type of history. You just feel it. Like sometimes you could damn near hear the Civil War horn. Sometimes, nah, you don't hear them, but I'm just saying though. Even in Atlanta, you take certain back roads and you gonna pass. Like there's a battlefield of battle horn, something horn in motherfucking, what is that? Stockbridge. It might be Stockbridge, Atlanta, or McDonough. He said a grenade would do. On everything, that's a fucked up ass statue. So now we're gonna talk about Juneteenth. Juneteenth. Because a lot of people hearing this shit, but they don't really know what Juneteenth is and why it's celebrated. Well, let's just say Virginians, one of the most racist ass states, Virginia, yeah. They have a what's it called? They have a proclamation in order where they're trying to make June 19th, a paid holiday. Like, why are they all of a sudden we get to acting up? Now they like, let's run the tape back. Except this time, let's run the tape back and let's look for anything that might come up in the future, because we can't be having them acting up like this. We can't be having them acting up like this because they subject right about now, their mind frame is that anything could be a trigger. Anything. So it might be cool and all of a sudden you might be walking down the street, you might see a statue and be like, you know what? We about to tear this motherfucker up and spark it again. So this time, I think they're going to run the tape back and they're going to try to right most of their wrongs. They can't right all of them, but they can right a lot of them wrongs by being honest when they look back at the Constitution and realize that it was impartial to certain people. They run back all our constitutional rights and make them meet the times. Then that's what's up. If they don't have the balls to do it, because this country is supposed to be standing on that bullshit, on that constitutional bullshit. Constitutional bullshit is like your automatic right. But yet, you get people locked up every day with their constitutional rights violated. Then when they inside, they clearly see that their constitutional rights is violated and clearly presented to the judges that their constitutional rights have been violated, but yet they still find ways to fight up out of that by stating another constitution that they arbitrated in the first place. I'm just saying though. So, Juneteenth. Inside, like I didn't know nothing about no Juneteenth. Let's get it straight. As an 18-year-old kid on the main line, level 4, Salinas Valley, I didn't know what the hell a Juneteenth was. And I still didn't for hella years, but I was celebrating it. All I know is when June come around, the homies be fasting. The homies be fasting. The homies practice fellowship. And when I say the homies, I'm talking about the homies, all the Bloods, all everybody, the Crips, everybody. For that month and Bloody July, Juneteenth and Bloody July, there is an extra amount of solidarity between Africans inside. That's just what I was taught up. And that's what I know. But anyhow, so we fasting and we working out, but I still don't know what the significance of Juneteenth is. So let me tell you. So when the Civil War was over, I mean when the slaves was freed, they was free. But there wasn't no motherfucking wasn't no Google, wasn't no Paul Revere Pony Express. I mean it was, and if it was, it wasn't getting to certain areas. So certain areas, they stood to benefit from slaves still being slaves, but it's like this. Y'all might be free, but if I don't tell y'all and y'all continue to do what y'all do, hey, it ain't my fault. Y'all don't know y'all free. That's y'all bad. So in Texas, there was a place that the slaves continued to function as if they were still slaves, and they had no idea that they was free. And the messed up thing is that it happened, the freeing of the slaves happened like 2+ years. Like 2+ years, happened January 1st, like 18 something. But it wasn't until like 2+ years later that the slaves realized that they was free. So just think, that's 2 years, that's like 2 years, that's like being in prison for 2 years after you were supposed to go home. Like you've been free, but you've been just programming, doing your thing, but you been free. Like the judge been said, like you can go. You can go. And they didn't know. And I don't know if y'all know how that feel. Like you can't get that time back. I know how it feels. I remember. And y'all remember too. When I was fighting that staff assault, when that bitch say that I bursted out the cell and gave her a stiff arm and took off running, that bitch said I basically assaulted her. So I ended up going to ASSEX and having to fight my way up out of that shit. And still, they was about to try to strike me out, and this bitch was clearly lying like a motherfucker. She was lying so much that when they had the hearing, the lieutenant said, ask her, what arm did I push her with? The lieutenant asked her, she said with the left arm. But in her report, she said I bursted out with the right arm. I'm like, see, she lying. She lying. That's a violation of my constitutional rights off top. She lying on me. So then, next thing you know, they said, the lieutenant says, I still have to find you guilty. Remember, hear this. I still have to find you guilty because it's her word against yours. And I have to take her word. She's a sworn officer of the law. What? What? She just clearly lied. She just clearly lied. And he says, I have to find you guilty because it's your word against hers. So because I'm a convict or I'm an inmate or whatever, you telling me I ain't got no rights? It's her word against mine. I ain't got no more rights. Man, what the fuck kind of constitution did I come up under? But but they found me guilty in September. In September, I stayed in the hole until December 2006. So I stayed in the hole till December. When I got to the main line, hold on one second. Should be right back. In probably about an hour. Okay? So I stayed in the. Y'all are not gonna be messing up my life. You get it? You cannot be messing my life up. What? Tell you, but you need to tell me where I left off. No, don't lick me. Your breath stink. You all right, huh? As long as you don't run around. All right. So, anyways, so it wasn't until December. It wasn't until December. So anyhow, I go back to the main line, and then I get rushed by the Mexicans, and then I go back to the hole. So this whole time, I'm like, so let me go back. The way I got back out to the yard is that I basically said I'm not crazy no more because I played the triple CMS role, which is crazy, crazy, crazy. I forget what it means, but crazy, crazy, crazy to try to beat that charge. So when I realized, man, I had been in the hole long enough, like I'm like, man, shit, the shoe time issued for a staff assault is completed. Because I've been in the hole over 9 months. So the time is completed anyway. So all I got to do is say, I ain't crazy no more. So I said it, I ain't crazy no more. They kicked me back to the main line. But all the while, since I got a shoe, when you get a shoe, that means you're supposed to go 180 automatically. Like you got a shoe charge. When you get out the shoe, you're going to a 180 facility unless your points is lower. But as long as you got level 4 points, you're going to a 180. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm done. Because you get a staff assault, the courts wasn't picking it up because I did have a DA referral. So the courts didn't want to pick up that charge eventually, so I didn't have to worry about 3 strikes. So all I had to worry is CDC banging me for the staff assault that I didn't do. So fast forward, now I didn't been found guilty, so I'm just waiting to get my final copy so I can go to the SHU or I can go to wherever. But when the time came up and I ended up doing a 9-month SHU, they sent me back to the main line. The Mexicans get on me. So I'm like, damn, since I got found guilty, they're supposed to endorse these points and make me a level 4 because Solano is a level 3. So now I'm back in the hole. I'm in committee, right? I'm already knowing they about to be like, inmate Williams was never supposed to be back on his yard. He's supposed to go to a level 4. We're going to endorse him and transfer him to the closest level 4. That's what I was suspecting. But these motherfuckers said, yeah, so we have inmate Williams who was the victim of an assault. They said, but he has this many points, and he had a staff assault that was adjudicated and dropped to failure to disobey a direct order. I'm like, what the fuck? It was like, yeah, it was dropped to failure. The charges were later dismissed and dropped to a lesser charge. I mean, not dismissed, but dropped to a lesser charge. I'm like, it's December. You mean to tell me that I've been sitting in this fucking hole since, and I got found guilty, and then the charges got later dismissed, dropped to a lower charge in the end of September. So you mean to tell me I done sat in the hole October, November, and some of December, and y'all waiting on some paperwork that was never gonna come that set me free. So you mean I sat and ate all them motherfucking cold ass soups and fished on the tier and wrote all these motherfucking raps, which I wrote a whole lot of raps, and wished I could do shit like hear music, and I've been free this whole motherfucking time, and I gotta get attacked by the Mexicans and then sent back in the hole to find out that I was fucking free. You gotta be crazy. You gotta be crazy. So I know what it feels like. So on Juneteenth, man, I know that if they wasn't mad, they probably was. See, that's the thing. They was probably so happy to discover that they was actually truly free that they didn't know what the hell they was about to do. They didn't know what the hell they was about to do. Just think of having dreams of being free while you free. Dreams of being free while you free, because you don't even know you free. Take that shit to the bank. Adrian Derrick. Man, I've heard stories of guys doing 25 plus and getting released but not wanting to leave because all they knew was prison. All right. I'm speaking from experience. Not no movies, not no nothing. First thing I will ask you is how many people do you know that have done 25 years and came home? I'm pretty sure the answer you're going to say is 0 or 1 maybe that you heard of from your best friend's uncle's, cousin's, niece's big brother that came home. Now, me, how many people do I know that done 25 years or better that came home? I know at least about 10. I know at least about 10. I know at least about 20 that did 20 years or better and came home. Now, never one of the motherfuckers talk about I want to go back. Now, never one of them talking about I want to go back or I can't handle this. There are those types that you can kind of see in prison. Like I had a coworker. This dude worked with me in PIA in the sign shop in PIA in Old Folsom. This dude was supposed to go home in 1993. 1993, like 4 months before he was about to go home, this dude kept fucking with him, and they already had one altercation. So then, I guess the second time, dude was like, and this dude name is Ben, little short dude named Ben. Ben had made up his mind. The second time, I'm not going for this shit. And so when dude fucked with Ben, I mean Ben picked up a motherfucking shovel, and took it upside dude's head. And Ben was about to go home. And this was around the time when 3 strikes was like the thing. Like they was striking motherfuckers out left and right. Nolan Ryan at the plate. Everywhere in California. So Ben fell through the loop. He got struck out 2 months before going home. Fast forward, this is 2018. And me and Ben up in PIA. And maybe used to laugh. I used to look at Ben and be like, damn, he is so set in his ways. He don't even realize it. He used to tell me he was like a pickpocket when he was younger. I mean, when he was younger, that was his thing. He was like, if I could just get out, man, I'm telling you, I done figured it out. There's so many different ways I could pick. Get over here. There's so many different ways that I could pickpocket. And next I could do it like this and do it like that. And next thing you know, he didn't envisioned a whole pickpocket scheme. I was like thinking to myself, like, man, if you pickpocket somebody today and they catch you, do you not know? But I'm slick, man. I'm telling you, I was quick. I was like, man, ain't nobody pickpocketing no more, man. Did another thing. He used to be like, man, when I come home, man, all I need me is a cool little like 30-inch TV, like something like that'd be cool for me. I don't need much. I was like, bruh, if you take a 30-inch TV and put that motherfucker anywhere in visible sight, motherfuckers gonna look at you like you crazy. He's like, yeah, man, you know, cause we got the 16-inch up in here. That's pretty big for me already. But that 30 would be cool. I was like, man, look, Once you get home and you finally see, you're gonna see, man, the world is a big place. And he's one of them people. See, what you was talking about was Shawshank Redemption. Hit that like button for me one time if you ain't already hit that like. But what you were talking about, Adrian, is Shawshank Redemption when bruh Morgan Freeman, when he got home and he couldn't handle it no more and he took himself out the game. That's what you're talking about. So let me tell you, when I was a teen, when I was in juvenile hall and I was fucking up, guess the one movie that I remember seeing that stood out to me about prison, and that was Shawshank Redemption. I'll never forget. That was Shawshank Redemption. And that movie had me kind of traumatized as to what prison was going to be about. And fortunately for me, when I got there, I found out prison was not like that. That was not like reality, at least for California prisons. That might have been some Kentucky back east Mississippi type shit. What's up with Droops? What's up with Smoking? I guess I'm speaking to how a system can condition an individual after so much time, either slave or prison servitude, to go against normality. You know what? Let me give you a paradigm shift. Boop. The same system is the same system used in the military. The same system is the same system used in the military. They got a system, a condition that they use to continue to fight for something that you don't even understand fully what you fighting for. At least in prison, they understand you fighting for freedom, you fighting to get up out of there. But what if you already in the military and you stuck in there because of an oath to where it's damn near treason to leave? You stuck in the system to fight for something that you don't really understand and give your life for something that you don't understand. You stuck in the system. So the military uses that, and you know what? And that's no shade to anybody that's giving their life for this country. No shade to them. But it's 100% shade to the presidents like George Bush that made people think that it was a war on terrorism and had people volunteering to go fight a war that was clearly not a war on terrorism. That's who get the shade. George Bush. That's what I'm talking about. They need to take that statue down, man. That fucked me up to know that slaves paid for it. So now, there's another thing I spoke on the other day. And like I say, man, some shit be like, people like conspiracies and shit. They like conspiracy theories. I try not to feed into them unless it's facts or try to get straight to it. So I talked about the two black men that was found hanging from trees in Southern California, and said that people needed to speak on it. Like somebody needs to talk on it. You know, the Dirty Nation is big, but shit, everybody can use help to get an issue out there. And guess what? Now there's been two more blacks found hanging. But the thing is, we can't bite into the conspiracy Tupac theory, because in some cases they is what they is. Some people decided that they wanted to take themselves out the game for whatever reason. I don't know, and I don't advocate it, but they decided to take themselves out the game. So now it becomes important that you speak on it so it doesn't become a trend, because what if all four of those people are actually suicides, hanging themselves in public places? Then you gotta break that trend. You don't want that to become a trend. Next thing you know, people going out in the parks and hanging themselves from trees and stuff. If you are unfortunate enough to decide that you want to take yourself out, man, there's outlets and places and things that you can use that will hear you out, that will hear your cry for help before you decide that you want to do something like that. But if so I'm not gonna sit here and bite into the hangman conspiracy theory, but I do want people to be aware of that. So pay attention to your loved ones, especially at times like this. Especially at times like this. Hold on, man. I seen some money. Oh shit, man! Big bag, good looking out. That $5 holla. I needed that thing. I needed that thing. I've been smoking. I've been smoking shake, right? But this shake is like 29%. I seen that shit. I seen that shit. I seen that shit. But now I need to go get me some nuggets. I need I need to go get some nuggets. So good looking out, man. Smoke 'em. So finally I get your attention. Whatever do you mean? Damn, that's when I was born. So I feel like I see homies been in the back for. You know what? Another thing, it's homies that have been in the shoe for like dumbass long, like 15, 20 years. So we was able to get an idea when we was talking about freedom, being free while you free, like it's like dreaming about being free while you free. The opposite of it is dreaming about being free while you still locked up. So if you're in a shoe, you're in constricted movement. Constricted movement. You in a box, and you come out your cell and you go to dog cages, and then you go back to your box, or you just move from box to box to box in the shoe. So when you in the shoe, you just want to get out. You want to get free. You have, man. That's what you think about. When I get to the main line, man, I'm about to make me a motherfucking soup with a canned good. I can't wait to get me a Jack Mac. I remember back in the 80s when I first went to the shoe, I used to have a Jack Mac with the yes, Jack Mac. That's the fishing. That's the red can with the fish fillets up in that thing. But they be like that, and then they get stuck thinking about what it was like when they was last on the main line. So they locked up, dreaming about freedom, but still dreaming about the freedom while they're still locked up. So then when they put them out on the main line, they got to reacclimate themselves, because some of them was political prisoners that time had passed them by. Some of them was political prisoners that time had passed them by. Rest in peace, Yogi. Rest in peace, Yogi, who was a political prisoner. One of the Quentin Six. What is Quentin Six? Quentin Five? But he was one of the one. He was one of the last remaining ones that tried to break out of prison with George Jackson. And when they let him out the shoe, after all that time, he got caught slipping, and the skinheads took him out because he was like the last of the political prisoners. And that with him, a lot of them died. But you had clones. So you had clones, and the clones was even locked up. So when the clones got out, we still got a chance to see people that have been in the shoe like 20 years too, and watch they struggle, but watch them find their way. Watch them find their way. Then they finally had content with that type of freedom, and then all of a sudden they allow themselves to dream bigger. Now they dreaming about being in a lower level where motherfuckers is doing shit because it works. It fits with the conditioning of their mind of being in the shoes all them years. Now, if you take somebody that had been in the shoe and release them, damn, after 20 years being in the shoe, and then they put them in society, damn, I can't even picture that. I can't even picture that. So anyhow, man, back to this rest in peace Ancient Mama, when they pulled Ancient Mama off the shelf, and fuck the Lincoln statue that's in Park Square, Boston, the Emancipation Memorial. That thing need to get tore the hell down. And then also another thing is there's hell of, I don't know if y'all know, but hell of police been resigning across the country. Hella police been resigning across the country. And I kind of had mixed emotions. Well, not mixed emotions, but I had mixed feelings about it. At first, I wasn't even sure I was gonna speak on it, but I was just wanted to say like there are in a lot of cases, police are needed. They are needed. Sane police with proper training. Cause I do believe, bro, if you got it coming, you got it coming. And I did my first go round. I did 17 years, but I know at the same time I didn't know too many youngsters like me. I was literally off the hook from the age of 15 to 17. I was off the hook. Like I was ready to rob banks and shit. So like not with a note, but go up in that motherfucker and stick it up. Like at 17 years old, I wasn't thinking like the normal 17-year-old. So man, people need to be aware. People need to be aware, man. It changes at the times. Other than that, man, it's been real. Shout out Big Bad for that donation. What's up with Ebony? I see you. Be like going home on the yard after 20 years back. Saying going, yeah, on everything. I was lucky, man. I was lucky because even inside, I was trying to find out what was going on. While I was inside, I was trying to. I was keeping my mind outside as far as I could go. That was especially when cell phones came into the picture. Like once cell phones was in the game, I kept my mind out on the streets because I knew one day I would go home. Like one day I would go home. So I ain't gonna say I was able to keep up with what was going on the streets, but I will say that I gave myself a fighting chance to where when I came home I was able to make shit look normal. Like you wouldn't have been able to tell that I had been gone for that long unless you. And the only way you would have knew is by my undying curiosity. Like my undying curiosity. Like I was curious about everything. And people used to be like, "Are you serious? Like you really want to know about that?" I'm like, "Yeah, tell me about it. Like tell me about it." Like I wanted to know about cars. I wanted to know about shoes. It's like I was filling in the blanks, and I already had slots available to fill in the blanks as I came home. Because trust me, in every sense of the word, when I came home at 33 years old, after being gone since 17, I was a newborn baby, for real. I was a newborn baby. And in a sense, because I've been so transparent with the Dirty Nation, y'all already know. So it's some of y'all that recognize the struggle when y'all see me going live from the cooler at 7-Eleven stocking with my shirt on, like really working. Like y'all don't if y'all know that struggle, shit. And for the record, 7-Eleven is not my end game. That is not my end game at all. But I am proud to say I got a job with benefits. I don't even. Hey, look, when the benefits package came, I was like, "What is this? Like, what is this packet? Like, what? I would have damn near just threw it. What is a benefits package? Oh shit! I done stumbled onto something." Oh, I appreciate that very much. Josh Kennedy, my bro, I miss your stories, man. It's glad to see you again, big homie. It's all good, man. Hey, trust me, man. The stories is a part. They're always a part of me, but that's just where I started. That's just them stories is where I started, and I look at them as something that I can go back on at any given time. So when I start my new channel, I'm gonna upload all my stories and then stories only on my new channel. So y'all stay tuned for that channel because I'm gonna try to run that up to 1,000 hella quick. That's coming soon. All right. Well, it's been real. I appreciate y'all, man, and Probably I'll go live tomorrow. Today's my day off, so I'll probably either go live tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. I appreciate y'all tuning in. There's been a lot of information, so run that view back and run it up. Dirty weather.